Are you ready to get started? It's 1:30, and so we are exactly punctual, and you are too. So congratulations and welcome to SUAS 2025. Thank you all for being here. I am Daryl Davidson. I'm the president and CEO of RoboNation. How many of you actually have ever heard the word RoboNation before? Okay, that's better than I thought it was. So good for you. We'll have dessert for all of you later, those that raised your hand. But also, just the first thing I want to do is acknowledge the fact that we have a huge turnout this year. We had 81 teams that started this process, and we're down to 49, which is a pretty high attrition factor, but it's also one of the things that just simply goes into this competition. It's what it means that failure happens. You have to embrace failure at some point to learn, to progress, and to move forward. And the fact that all of you made it here is a huge success before you ever even take flight. So I just want to congratulate you all on behalf of the RoboNation team. RoboNation took over the management and running SUAS last year. Was the first time we actually ran it. And so for a lot of you, you know different people now, things are changing, which is all what we want to have happen. One of the things that we plan to do going forward is to find a way to make sure that after you spent an entire year preparing, building a system, getting ready to show up, and many of you have gone through the inordinate burden of traveling to the United States from somewhere else, which I also commend you on. That's a tremendous amount of effort to get here and only have one flight slot. And so starting next year, we are going to do all we can to expand the length of SUAS, to probably change the format completely to give you more flight opportunities and to hopefully make it more worth your while and give you more opportunities to see exactly what you can do with all the work that you put in to get here. We know how hard it is, and we just think you need more time to show off what you do. So look forward to a lot of changes for next year. How many of you know that we, as RoboNation, do other competitions that are not just aircraft? Okay, very cool. We have a lot of teams that cross over from one domain to another. We do ground competitions, we have a second aerial competition, and we have a huge footprint in the maritime side of things. And so we have 3 maritime competitions. 2 of them are on the surface, they're boats. One of them is an underwater vehicle competition that will actually take place in August in California. And so as soon as you get back from SUAS, if you want to learn how to build an underwater autonomous vehicle and meet us in California, good luck with that. We'd love to see you. So we want to give you all the opportunities that we can for you to participate in these events, but also just to really learn what the world of autonomy is all about and to prepare you for careers, hopefully, in the autonomy field. So that's really why we exist. For all the folks that are standing up in the back, I apologize. This room was supposed to be set for 300 people, and they only set it for 250, and that's why we got a standing room only. But on behalf of those that are standing up, you're going to be the first ones in line for the treats after the end of all of this, because they're all right back behind you. So stay where you're at, and you can say that you planned it that way. So good job for those that are standing by the food. All right, so let's get into the fun part of all of this. All right, went through that part. These are the 4 parts of this that we're going to cover pretty quickly, and we're going to try to get you in and out of here. But let me also be the first and not the last to remind you and warn you that there are very dangerous levels of heat and humidity, as you all know. For some of you, it's very comfortable or very normal from wherever you are, and for others, you're not used to this. And so we want to make sure that you take every precaution available. This is healthy, dangerous heat, like life-threatening heat that we're going to be existing in the next 2 days. And so please be smart about that. Don't get so focused on what you're doing that you forget to stay hydrated or forget to sunscreen or to eat or drink. So we'll keep reminding you. We have a lot of accommodations for that on site. So this is the order of events that we're going to be going through, and I'm going to finish my part because you don't want to hear that much more from me. Congratulations. It's a great achievement, and we will celebrate that as we go forward. We have a lot of sponsors that help make this happen. These are companies that give us equipment, they give us supplies, they give us volunteers, or they give us money, which is by far the best. But I want to single out MathWorks, because MathWorks has been a huge part of a lot of the efforts that we've done online to get to this point. They support our competitions, and they will have people here and be giving out things throughout the week, so continue to look at MathWorks in the sponsor area. All right, so I think all of you should know, I'm sure most of you are on Discord. The QR code will take you to our Discord channel. This is where we want to communicate, not only this week while you're in town, but also throughout the year. Hopefully you've noticed that we're starting to push more and more information and resources and educational materials out through our Discord channel. We want that to be a community Discord channel and not just one that is us pushing out information to you. One of the things that you will hear from RoboNation staff is that we are all about community. The technical part of why you're here and what you do to get here is critically important. But we're more interested, quite honestly, in the relationships, in how you communicate with each other, how you mix and mingle and interact and collaborate with each other. Because we believe that when you come on site to any of our competitions, you can learn more by interacting with other teams than you can through a whole year of doing studies or working on your own project in your lab. And so I strongly encourage you to step out behind your area and go and mix and mingle with other teams. And it's one of the things that we stress and emphasize at every single RoboNation event. We have special awards that we will get out on Thursday evening, and so this QR code is in your form. It is, you can either get it here or you can take it from the little flyers we give away. And it's another way, because you're the ones that are interacting and that are participating, and you're the ones that will see the outstanding behaviors and the things that other people do that you think are worth acknowledging. And so we want to give you an opportunity through this QR code and through the system to nominate other people or teammates and beyond for awards. We have a data sharing program that I think is probably fairly new to the SUAS community, and it's one that we have with most of the other RoboNation programs. Normally we will have a physical server that we will bring to our events and allow you to tap into that and to share and upload information that is part of your project. And we encourage teams to do this. Essentially, it's like open source data sharing. It can be any number of, it can be image files, it can be software, it can be anything that you want to share with others in this community. And so this is how you can make that happen. We will not have the physical server here this year. We hope to bring that, but it is something that you can interact with and go on to the site and look at the other data sets and things that are shared through other competitions, and then they give you some ideas of things that you want for how you can use the data sharing system. All right, so I think that is the end of my part of it. I am going to introduce Sherry Koch. Sherry is going to come and take you through all of the physical steps that will happen between now and just the next 2 days. So this is going to happen very quickly, and before you know it, it'll be Thursday night, and hopefully you'll be hot and sweaty but happy. So Sherry.
My name is Sherry Koch. I'm the Senior Events Manager for RoboNation. I've been at RoboNation for 13 years, and I can say, as of this year, I've become bionic. So you'll see me riding around on my trusty seat over there to keep my ankle from overheating while it still heals. So just in case you're wondering, I'm excited about being bionic. Anyway, so I am in charge of logistics, so your tents and all the infrastructure that you need for the competition. That is my responsibility. Here are pictures of the main event leads. I'm there. Joe, is Joe, can you remember? He was right, he's in the back. Come up front so they can see you. He is our technical manager. He kind of advises all of us on technical issues and is I'm over safety, but we work together on that. So if you have a safety issue, we'll be going over some safety things for you here during this presentation. You can come to either of us if you have an issue. One of the things I do want to mention, Juliana Smith is our competition lead. She's our program manager, and she's back in the back also. You'll hear from her, see her. There she is. She's in the back too. One of the things I want you to know, on the back of every one of your name badges, and logistics has failures too, people. Our badge holders, they are coming in this evening, and we will have them for you tomorrow. That's why you just got your badge blanks, just a little paper card. We'll have the holders, and you can pick up your lanyards tomorrow at our RoboNation booth. But on the back of every one of your badges is my cell phone number or Juliana's cell phone number. If you have an issue while you are on site, you can text us, you can call us, because we are here to help you. We're here to help you be safe. We're here to help you have a successful trip and experience while you're here, and that's our job, plain and simple. And then Manal will talk to you in just a little bit and go over, he's the actual technical lead for the actual competition and the task elements and things, and he'll come talk to you, Rose. All right, we have a color coding for our volunteers and our staff to help you know just by sight, and it also helps us as we have lots of you out there. Sometimes we need to identify quickly a competition lead, and so you can see that a lead judge will be wearing a safety yellow vest. If you need to find a safety check person because you need somebody to check your vehicle, they'll be in an orange vest. And all of our main leads, event leads, will be in the orange. Safety checks are pink, and event leads are in orange. If you want to know, for those of you who pre-ordered t-shirts, you get sage green. This year, our judges will be in blue shirts. All of our volunteers that are not in judging roles will be in safety yellow, and our staff has black shirts, so you can identify us quickly by our roles. Just a quick schedule overview. I know that we sent you some communication yesterday about some schedule change. We're going to go over that really quickly with you. Obviously, we're here on Tuesday. We have check-in and orientation. Starting tomorrow, bright and early, Team Village opens at 7 a.m. Flights will start at 8 a.m. One of the reasons for this change is obviously the FAA monitors and determines how the airport operates, and the airport was required to have for us to shut down our operations between 11 and 12 to allow some other contracted airplanes to come in and land. We are not allowed to shut down the runway for the entire time block. So good news for you, you will have a lunch break. You'll be able to get out of the heat. That also is a safety factor for you guys. Like Daryl said, we're going to be monitoring the heat and your safety as well as our staff and our volunteer safety in the heat quite closely. So this is a good time for you to plan on grabbing some lunch. If you didn't pre-order lunch, we're going to talk to you about an area that we've set up for you to go and off a little bit, just a 5-minute little walk to go get cooled off during the competition. It'll be open all during our operating hours, and we'll go over that. The facility closes at 5. The next day is pretty much the same schedule, except that we will pack up at 3 o'clock and awards will start at 4:30. The only thing that might change that is there is a possibility of thunderstorms, and you don't have an indoor option for awards. We are working on that, so if you see that, we will send out an announcement. That's one of the reasons we have Discord, so that is how we will communicate any safety issues. If we have teams, too many students are experiencing heat exhaustion or heat stroke or any of those kinds of things, we may have to stop early or have a pause so that we can get everybody cooled down. So just be expecting that kind of response because this heat is unprecedented here in the United States, along with the humidity. Some of you might be used to dry heat. but this is humid heat. It's quite different. And for those of you who are not used to heat at all, we're going to be checking on you guys very closely. So. All right, this is a overall competition map. Well, we made a couple of changes from the original map that was sent out. So, and the biggest change we've made is just how we will be loading teams onto the trailers to get out to the flight line. We have provided a large tent where our trailers will come underneath that tent so that you're loading and staging in the shade before we take you out to the flight line. For those of you who've been here before, we actually have added some additional tents out on the flight line so that while your two team members who are allowed to operate and the others have to step back, there's a tent, a shady area for the rest of your team to wait while you're actively flying. We have a large team village. We've set up fans. We have Mr. Fans for you. Parking is in front of the terminal. There is parking also kind of as you come in before you get to the terminal. So parking shouldn't be full. We haven't ever had trouble with that, so I don't anticipate that. So just be aware of where you are on the map. Okay, here's a close-up of actually where your team village is. The RoboNation booth is a great resource for you if you have an issue. If I don't get back to you quick enough and you texted me, go to the RoboNation booth. They can radio Julianne and I or with any issue that you have. So just make sure we want to be very responsive if you have an issue. So RoboNation, here is the RoboNation booth right here. Your team tables are right here. You have electricity at your team tables. I will tell you that the team tables are grouped in twos. There is a power strip that has 4 plugs. Your team gets 2, the team next to you gets 2. So just be aware of that. Safety tracks are going to be done all right here. And then staging, this is, this is the staging tent right here. I want to notify that a few teams pre-ordered lunch from us. We'll actually be having your lunches over here in the staff ready room. We didn't have a lot of teams that pre-ordered their lunch, and so we're just going to have you come and get your boxes with our staff boxes because we're eating the same lunch that you are. So we do have portable restrooms. Over here in this quadrant, there are dumpsters, we'll have trash cans. Please be aware, this is an active airport. So for those of you who are not familiar with foreign object debris on the runway, that means please don't allow trash to blow around because every piece of trash could be a piece of trash that's sucked up into a jet engine. Or we also have some helicopters that I think Manal will go over that. We have a couple of helicopters that are emergency helicopters that sometimes we do have to pause operations to allow those helicopters to fly. We just don't want to be the reason that one of the airplanes has an issue because we've been just throwing trash around. So we will have trash cans with lids, and if you guys can help us with that, we really appreciate it. Okay, the other issue is, back again, this is an active airport, and therefore the same rules that apply to other airports in the United States apply to this airport. We're given special dispensation to allow you to operate, and we do have procedures, but within this operating line, the orange line, you must stay within that area. You can't wander because we have open tents. It feels like maybe I could just come over here and take a photo, or I can just step across the entryway and just step onto the taxiway and take a photo, and that is not allowed. We have to stay on this square piece of tarmac. You're allowed to wander anywhere inside this boundary, but please don't go outside the boundary because, like I said, this is an active airport and they do police it actively. One of the other things I do need to remind you, we had a couple of folks asking us here in this facility where there is smoking. There is no smoking in this facility. This is a University of Maryland facility, and University of Maryland All their facilities are no smoking, no vaping, no nothing, because in the United States it's a health issue that we take very seriously. So this building, there's nowhere, anywhere in the parking lot, anywhere to smoke. And if you are at the airport, I'm gonna go back real quick. The only smoking area is in this parking area right here. And I believe there is a picnic table over there. But if that is something that you need to avail yourself of, just be aware that that is the only location that you can avail yourself of. All right. Okay, I think I went over, you get one table, you get 2 electrical plugs. We do have a covered workspace. We do have fans out there. We have a couple of mister fans that will blow some cool vapor water. You are allowed to unload from the parking lot. We do have, there is a gate that is kept closed once you guys load in, and then you come back out. You must have your badges to come in, because we can't just, this isn't open to the public. It is only open to registered members of the team. If anyone you know has registered as a spectator, we will give them a wristband and they can check in tomorrow morning at the RoboNation booth. Okay, let's see. You are permitted to power your motors without propellers or statically blocked propellers in Team Village. So if you have a question, now's the best one to ask later during the Q&A about all of that, especially the RF emissions too. On logistics, everyone. Okay, this is where we are. I'm sorry. We have set up, University of Maryland has kindly offered a space to allow you, if you feel like you're getting hot during the day and you don't want to go sit in your car, your only car is off getting lunch, or you just need to get out of the heat, we will have some signage and we will send out a map that shows you with little dots how to walk around the front of the airport terminal, and you'll see this building it's the only red building there. It's a short walk and we just go around the left-hand side. We have a small hangar, maybe about the size of this room, a little smaller. We can only have about 75 people in that room at a time, but we want you to have a space where you can go and get cooled off in the air conditioning, because we can't allow our attendees to be inside the airport terminal unless you are coming in actively to order some food from the cafe inside, and then you have to take your food back outside. You can't be in the terminal during the competition. But we have a space that's air conditioned and you can go over there. We would, obviously there's almost 300 of you here and 75, that's, the math doesn't add up. So what we are asking is that if you go in there, spend an hour, and then come out, be kind to your fellow competitors, allow them to have an opportunity to go in and get cooled off as well. If we had a bigger space, we would offer that, but this was what was offered to us. So make sure that you clean up after yourself in that space too, because that was something that the University of Maryland offered for you to use, because they want you to be safe. So please take advantage of it. All right, we do have weather protocols besides the heat. We keep talking about the heat, and we're going to continue to hear about the heat and hear about staying hydrated. As a matter of fact, each one of you, your team packet has a special heat protocol. Just make sure I want you to know we also will have an on-site medic. If there is anyone that is having a headache, you feel sick to your stomach, headaches are the #1 indicator that you are dehydrated, and you are in danger if you don't hydrate yourself and get cooled off a little bit. You could progress to heat stroke. We don't want that to happen. If you go beyond a headache, if you start feeling sick to your stomach, if you start trembling, if you start having trouble thinking or communicating or moving, that is the time for a team member to rush you over to our staff office, where we will have a medic evaluate you immediately, push some fluids into you, and probably not let you go back outside for a little bit depending on how bad, at what stage you're in. So we are taking it super seriously, and we need you to take it very seriously. We're not anticipating rain or high wind until possibly Thursday evening after flying hours are over, but we will be watching it. Our technical director will possibly call for a competition pause until rain stops or excessive wind stops. And this is one of the reasons why we don't have you as an assigned flying time, because depending on multiple factors, the person in front of you brakes, and Manal will go over that, but weather is one of the things that we also have to monitor. If we pause, we have to bring you all back we take you off the runway and we bring you all back to Team Village, and then once the weather has cleared, we'll notify you and we will bring you all back. If lightning occurs within 10 miles, we also have to pause. We have to not only bring you off of the runway, but we cannot have you underneath the tents. We have to send you back to your cars or have you go off-site, because we can't fit you all into the terminal and you cannot be under the tents if there's lightning within 10 miles. So until that weather moves out, thankfully that's not something we're looking at right now. So just know that we will inform you via the Discord app. We also will have, all of our volunteers will have radios, the leads, and so you'll be informed that way as well. So I've gone over the weather enough. Just keep an eye on your Discord, please, and just watch each other. Same thing. We will have these slides available for you to review later on. This information is on a flyer in your team packet, so you can reference it anytime. We also will have signs, and you will have one taped to your table as well. So, all right, I'm going to turn it over to Manal to discuss technical. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Manoj Gandhi. As Sherry mentioned, I'm the SUAS technical director, so basically anything technical related regarding the mission, scoring, etc. Come to me with any questions, either in person or over Discord. I'll be checking Discord throughout the competition week as well. So I'm just going to dive right into safety inspections. This is the first thing that's going to happen when you guys show up tomorrow morning. You guys start setting up your aircraft and whatnot. We're going to start doing safety inspections from the get-go. This is going to be in the expected flight order that's posted online based off of your FRR proof of flight submissions. And so we'll be going through from 1 to 49 right now. And if you are not ready for your safety inspection, or if you don't pass for some reason on your first time, you'll be moved to the end of the flight order, and we'll move on to the next team, because we need to get the teams that are ready out there and flying as soon as possible within the limited time that we have with the airport. Everything up here is stuff you should have seen before. It's straight from the handbook, straight from the appendix. So safety pilot must have the truss, airdrop weight. We'll check the airdrop weight and whatnot. We'll give you the beacons, make sure you set them up and whatnot. We'll check your aircraft for all the registration, make sure all the screws are tight, etc. Check to make sure your ground station has the affiliated information, so your aircraft speed, altitude, the mission flight boundary, making sure that's all ready to go so we can quickly check that off. And then we'll check your relative return to home fail-safe, flight termination, etc. One thing, since this year we've added the design for transport task, this will be in tangent with your aircraft safety inspection. So after your safety inspection, we'll start scoring your aircraft weight, how small it packs down for transport, if you're using batteries that are small and good for FA transportation. So that'll be done during your safety inspection, or right after your safety inspection, not out at the flight line like the rest of your mission. Continuing on with safety inspection, like I said, it's in the flight order that is published online based off of your proof of flight videos, and it'll be followed by the design for transport task. If for some reason you get through safety inspection completely, but for some reason you're not ready for design for transport, you can choose to delay that till after your mission. Say that you don't want to push back your flight order and you just want to get out there. The only caveat there is that if for some unfortunate reason your aircraft crashes or has some damage to it, then you won't be able to accomplish those tasks because we won't be able to score you for how small down you packed out in your weight if your aircraft is not in a flight-worthy condition. I don't expect this to apply to many teams, but it might apply to the first couple teams tomorrow morning as we're trying to get teams out on the flight line as quickly as possible. So really try to make sure you're prepared for safety inspections and for design for transport, unless you want to do that following the mission. Unlike previous years, we have a tent set up for safety inspection now, so it's not going to occur at your team table. We'll have someone come to you and tell you to be at the safety inspection table in, say, 5 to 10 minutes, and then it's your duty to show up to the table with your aircraft in your ground control station so that we can execute the safety inspections at that centralized location. One extra note for this year, similar to the heat, making sure that you stay safe and whatnot, we also want to make sure that the batteries stay safe. I know a lot of people need to charge their batteries, prep their batteries before they go out for either their safety inspection or their flight. And with that, the batteries will get hot because we are expecting over 95 degrees throughout the next couple of days. So the thing with that is that we'll be going around monitoring battery temperatures closely with the temperature gun we have, and any batteries that are above 110 degrees Fahrenheit or close to 40 degrees Celsius, we'll start talking to the team about that to make sure that the batteries are under cover, not out in the sun. That's the main thing we're asking for here, is that if you're charging batteries or using batteries, don't leave them out in the sun. Try to keep them under the tent. Make sure you're monitoring them closely if you're charging, because we don't want any battery incidents to occur. At the team village, you'll be sharing a four electrical outlet system with the team that's right next to you. So just be aware of that. Like, we don't want both teams right next to each other charging their batteries at full power at the same time, because you could trigger a circuit breaker, or if there's any battery fire, it could spread very easily. So just communicate with teams around you if you plan on charging batteries. Make sure that they're aware that you're charging batteries in this region, off of this outlet, etc. So for flight line operations, once you pass safety inspection, you'll be cleared to go out to the flight line, and so we'll go through the new flight line order based off of safety inspections to get you out there. So like Sherry mentioned, staging will occur on a trailer under a tent, so you'll put your aircraft, etc., your 6 competition members. So that's one thing to know. I know some teams have brought more than 6 people. When you're going out to the flight line, you can only take up to 6 people out there because we have limited space, and we need to make sure that there's a minimal amount of people there to maintain our safety. And so your 6 members, your ground control station, your equipment, anything you want to take out to the flight line, we'll let you know when you're ready for staging, and you'll set it up on the trailer, and then you'll wait until the team's done on the flight line. We'll drive you out there. You'll set up on the flight line. And like I mentioned, the flight order is going to be based off of what we publish, but also how quickly you pass safety inspection. And so we'll have a Google Sheet tracker that we'll throw on the Discord that's actively tracking what the most up-to-date flight order is, what teams have passed safety inspection, what teams are out flying, what teams are waiting to fly, etc., so that you have the most up-to-date knowledge of when you're supposed to go. But obviously, we'll come to your table about 10 to 15 minutes before you should be ready for staging, so that you can wrap up and get everything in a working order. This is the flight area overview. This is directly from the rules, just reiterating that that red line is the mission flight boundary. All of the GPS points are in the rules. Make sure that you have that loaded on your ground control station, because that is something we check during safety inspection. The green are the mapping boundaries, the blue are the runways, and the red or the purple are the airdrops. And so if you are, we've dedicated the courses as the red course and the yellow course based off of the tents that are out there. So if you were on the red course, you'll stick to the red runway, the red airdrop, the red mapping. You won't overlap with anything that the other flight course is doing. And so that way we can keep you guys deconflicted as much as possible while you guys are flying at the same time. We'll be flying 2 teams at the same time, so always keeping an eye on that. And we'll also be handing a radio to each of your ground control station operators. So the 2 teams that are flying, those ground control station operators will have a radio so you can communicate with the other team in the air at a high level. We don't want you like sharing secret information, but just being like, hey, we're flying at 200 feet altitude doing our mapping, and if you want to change your altitude for mapping or make sure you deconflict flight paths in any way, make sure you just communicate over that radio. In terms of the mission timeline, once you get out there from your trailer, you're going to have 15 minutes to do your entire setup period. So once you get out there, you're going to get the beacons to load to your aircraft. the mission waypoint list that you start loading that to your aircraft, USB drive for your mapping, etc. So those will all be handed to you in a bucket. You'll also get a set of labels, and we want you to apply the sticky labels to the beacons so that we can know when you drop that beacon, it was associated with your team and we don't get confused with some other team dropping that beacon. So you'll apply those labels to the beacons and then the bucket that we give you. And your mission time will start on two things. So we'll give you that at least 15 minutes of setup, but also the airspace has to be cleared, your runway has to be cleared. So if you're done with setup and there's a team still flying on your flight line, on your course, then obviously we won't let you go until they're ready, until they're done. But at a minimum, you'll get 15 minutes for setup, so make sure that before you guys go out to the flight line, try to make sure that you're in as ready as a state as possible so that you minimize the amount of work you have to do before you start your mission. In terms of the mission time, it's 30 minutes, just like in the rules. So that clock will start, and you'll have 30 minutes to do whatever you want to do. You can do multiple flights, do it all in one flight, whatever your team strategy is. And that clock will stop once you've landed, your aircraft is off the runway, you have submitted your map if you are attempting the mapping task. So all those three things need to be true in order for your time to stop. So if you've landed and you're off the runway, but you're still processing your map, your mission clock is going to keep running. And there is a lot of penalties for going over the 30 minutes. So I think it's something like once you're at 32 minutes, 32 and a half minutes, you've lost all your mission points. So every second you get penalized because we really need to get as many teams flying as possible. So we want to ensure that everyone gets done within their 30-minute mission clock. After the 30-minute mission clock, you'll have 10 minutes-ish to tear down your equipment. Not the tents, you leave the tents and chairs and tables, but tear down your specific equipment, load it back up in the trailer when it's ready, and drive out. Like Sherry mentioned, there's some chance of competition pauses, either due to weather or traffic. So even though we've coordinated with the airport for reserving this airspace for our flights, they sometimes have other emergency operations that need to occur with their helicopters. So if we do get notified of that, we have to make sure that all aircraft, all of our UAS are landed before they take off so that it's a clear airspace to them flying out in. If that does happen to your team in the middle of the mission, the good thing is that's the only one time you're allowed to either refuel or change the batteries on your aircraft, because it's a pause that you couldn't plan for. At any other time, you're not allowed to refuel during the mission or change your batteries. So if this does happen due to the weather or air traffic, you get a free timeout basically where you can swap batteries, manually take back off, or autonomously take back off, go back to where you were and resume your mission from there. In terms of the timeout, you can take a timeout at any time before you have accomplished the first waypoint. So basically, if your mission clock starts and you're not ready to take off, or something went wrong with your takeoff and you're trying to repair it or something, you can take a timeout that lasts at least 10 minutes. As soon as you take your timeout, we'll tell you to get off of the runway, put your aircraft off of the runway, and the team next to you will start their mission. So you'll have at least 10 minutes to figure out what's wrong with your aircraft and get back in line to perform your mission. That comes with a small penalty that's outlined in the rules, but it's definitely better than going over the mission time. So I highly recommend that if at any point you think of taking a timeout, really take that into mind and make sure you use that appropriately. That's basically all I wanted to cover. I'm not going to go too deep into what exactly the mission is, because hopefully at this point you guys have read the rules and whatnot to really understand what the rules are and what the mission is and what the scoring is like. But like I mentioned, if at any point you have any questions technically or any of the flight lines, scoring, how the mission operates, what you can do, what you can't do, safety inspection, etc., feel free to come ask me any questions over Discord or in person, anywhere, anytime. But at this point, we'd like to open the floor to any questions. Yeah.
One thing I forgot to tell you, for battery safety, in Team Village, at either end of the large tent, there are 2 red buckets that are filled with sand that have caution tape, yellow caution tape around those. Those are battery safety buckets. If at any time you feel that your battery is venting, swelling, and you decide that it's not safe, we want you to notify one of our leads so that we can come over and we will put your battery in a battery safety bucket. If you put it in a battery safety bucket, it's going to probably be destroyed, and we will take care of it from there. But we have that. We will also have 2 buckets out on the flight line, 1 at each course, so that if you have issues with your battery, especially given the heat, just please play it safe. I know that hopefully you brought extra batteries, but just make sure that you play that safe as well, because we don't need any fires. So, sorry.
Cool. Yeah, we'll open the floor to any questions, technical, logistical. Do we have a mic or?
There's a mic on the stand.
Oh, I see.
You just have to turn it on.
Am I passing this around or?
Testing.
Hey, madam, just a quick question to clarify that if we do bring 6 people to the flight line, is it going to be the case that all 6 are kind of operators, or can we say 3 or more on the ground?
So you can use up to those 6 for setup and teardown during a timeout, but right before your mission starts, so like at the end of your setup time, you'll tell the lead judge that we plan on using 3 operators or X number of operators, and that's what you'll be scored on. The rest of the people who go with you that aren't operators, there'll be a tent located behind the main tent that they'll need to stand on and not communicate at any time during the mission.
Thank you.
Hello. I think it was mentioned that the length of the mapping was up to 3 miles. So how much is it?
The length of each waypoint lap is up to 3 miles. The rules also defines that it can be as low as 2.5 miles, but I'm not going to tell you how long it is.
We are supposed to be using lock nuts, lock guys, or any other securing mechanism for nuts and bolts. Now, for propellers, is that also the case? Because we have to take them off if we want to run them inside the village, right?
You do what you think is best for securing your propellers, what you've done during your testing leading up to this event. We'll do our best to make sure it passes safety inspection. And if we don't think it passes safety inspection, we'll have a conversation about that. But continue doing what you've been doing with your flight testing leading up, because that's what you're most knowledgeable in.
Do you have a specific number in mind for the amount of watts that we can pull out of batteries?
I don't, because that's going to be dependent upon your batteries. Larger batteries can usually take a higher wattage power for charging and discharge, so there's no limitation.
Or like
But
if
if you're
they're
talking,
limited by the generator?
yeah, I would try to keep your table and the table next to you. I would say try to be under 1,000 watts. So.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So, hello, I want to ask that build for transport Southwest. Assume we have like a 2 whole drones, one basically prepared for the competition, and can we prove the build for transport requirement with the use of second, basically completely identical drone?
No, you have to approve design for transfer with the aircraft FLOS.
Are we get supplied with the drop loads at the setup time?
So you will get, so there's 2 times. You'll get supplied with the beacons at the start of your design for transfer scoring right after safety inspection. So the way your aircraft, the payloads, get the size of the payload. But then we'll take it back, and then we'll give you the beacons back right at setup time, right when setup time starts.
So we need to attach it at the setup time, right?
Yeah, within those 15
Okay,
minutes.
thank you.
Do we need to stay standby for both of the days as our flight order is down the order?
You're not required to be there in the team village at all times, but we are doing stuff like, there's no way we can predict exactly when your flight time is going to be or when your safety inspection is going to be. And so you are responsible for making sure, your team is responsible for making sure that you guys are there when we get to you for safety inspections or fly. But if you see your team 45 and you decide that you don't need to be there at 7 a.m. tomorrow, that's probably a healthy risk to take, but it's still a risk that we take.
Oh, okay, thank you.
What constitutes a manual takeover? Is it only by remote control or also from the ground station as well?
Yeah, so from the safety plan perspective, a manual takeover is anytime they touch the main joysticks on the transmitter, So they can flick a switch or click a button to start the mission or drop a payload, etc. But anytime they're touching the main roll, pitch, yaw, throttle sticks, that'll constitute a manual takeover. Or if you change modes into a manual mode, such as stabilize, manual, alto, positional, loiter, etc., that'll be a manual takeover, either from pilot or GCS. On the GCS side, so clicking around a map is acceptable in autonomous mode. The GCS operator can't take over and then use like a connected gamepad or connected joysticks or keyboard arrow keys to fly the aircraft around.
Hands up again, please. Hands, any more questions? Bob, there was one over here. You're good? Okay, anyone in the back?
How are the waypoints for the lab be given in the flight plan, and will there be any separation between two teams flying at the same time?
Yeah, so the waypoints will be given on a printed sheet of paper, and in the rules in the appendix, there is an example of how the waypoints will be given, and it's going to be in that exact same format. Obviously not the same waypoints, but that exact same format. So your latitude, longitude, altitude, and then a picture of what the waypoint should look like. We will deconflict the two aircraft flying, so if you stay accurate to your waypoints, you shouldn't collide with another aircraft. Obviously, we can't guarantee that the other aircraft will be flying completely on course and you will also be flying on course, so it's still up to you to make sure that you maintain obstacle avoidance, either automatically via sensors or via manually taking over or communicating over radio, etc.
When we get the sheet of paper from waypoints, do we also get a geofence coordinates, or is it just a sketch that we get?
The geofence coordinates are in the rules? Or
in the rules it says that the ground station operator as well as the pilot cannot perform any other tasks while the aircraft is in flight. But could the ground station operator throw the plane for manual takeoff or and rush to the ground station or not?
no.
Thanks.
Yeah, the aircraft would be in flight immediately after the road, so.
Are there any sort of rules for what you can bring to the team tent and out on the field in regards to like beverages and snacks and stuff?
I don't know. Sure. Yes, no alcohol, please. And then I'd say at the flight line, try to keep it to a minimum. We don't have much space out there, and also you're right next to the runway, so we don't want a lot of pod. So try to keep it to water, very little snacks, etc. In the team village, I don't think there's any rules except for alcohol, smoking, vaping, etc.
So coming up with a manual takeover, do we need to communicate with the judges in any way that we are going back to manual for landing?
Yes, you should try to communicate with the lead. The lead judge is going to be standing right next to the safety pilot at all times. I would communicate with them every mode change. So you'll have to communicate with them every mode change, and also communicate with them like, hey, we're about to go do airdrop, or hey, we're doing mapping. The more communication you get with the judge, the less confusion they could have. Because let's say you manually take over and don't tell them, and they think that you're not following the course, they can end your mission early for no reason. So the more you communicate with the judge, the more you can ensure that the judge doesn't penalize you wrongly.
Thank you.
How far can an operator go the competition course then?
What was that again? Can you repeat?
How far can an operator go from the competition course tents? The tents is
The operators have to stay either under the tent or within the immediate vicinity of the tent.
Okay.
Any more questions? And
About other
first, they are strictly for the one task, or for example, the operator that is responsible for the start of the model, if it's advanced, they can also do something with payloads.
Yeah, so the ground control station and the safety pilot operators, they have to do their dedicated roles when the aircraft is flying. When the aircraft is on the ground control station and the safety operator can do other stuff. And when the aircraft is flying, any additional operator can do a multitude of roles. So the same person who hand launches can load payloads, put on propellers, whatever you want to do. The only dedicated roles are safety pilot and GCS operator.
Any more questions? No? All right. One last one. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Hi. In the event where the team has to manually take over because of any risk of collision with the other team during their waypoint lap, is the team gonna get another chance to do the whole mission?
Any manual takeover that the team does outside of a competition mission pause where a manned aircraft is inbound, you will have, the penalty is that you have to at least restart the lap. So if you manually take over because you don't want to fly with the other aircraft, which I fully recommend doing, there is a small penalty which you have to restart the lap because some teams have put the work into autonomous obstacle avoidance, and so we want to give them a higher benefit so that they don't have to restart the lap if their autonomous system functions. So I think that's pretty much it for all the questions, but if you have, we have to move on to the networking. If you have any other questions, just ask on Discord. Or come to me after networking or during networking or once you talk to the other teams, but we have to move on to networking right now. So I'm always on Discord. Yeah.
I promise I will be the last person you have to talk to before you can go get some snacks. But my name is Alicia Gavin. I am the Director of Communications here at RoboNation. We're very excited just to welcome you guys here, have you guys get to know each other over the next few days. And so as Daryl mentioned earlier, we've got some snacks in the back, some light refreshments. I know some of you grabbed them, so we've already grabbed a drink. Please make sure the rest of the folks here get one before you go get some more. But we want to just encourage you guys to talk to each other, so we've got some bingo cards in the back. We've got limited pens and pencils, so if you guys have your own, please use those. Otherwise, please return them. But essentially, bingo is this game that we're going to have you guys go around, meet your fellow team members, and fill out the card. Just let us know that you guys have actually gone and done the prompts. Some of them are like, go find somebody that's from a foreign country, or somebody that's traveled more than 500 miles, somebody that's been to SUAS before, things like that. We also have a form that you can submit your resumes to. And then afterwards, you guys can submit them to some buckets over there. If you can't get them done today, bring them to the RoboNation booth. For everybody that does the whole card, we've got a sticker sheet for you. And you fill out one line, you enter for a pretty cool first prize. So make sure you go ahead and do that. And before I release you guys, I'm going to do one last thing, which is just to get a big old photo with you guys smiling, and then one quick video. So, on 3, if you guys can do a big smile for me. 1, 2, 3. All right, and the last one, I'm going to do a video, and I'll count to 3, and you guys are going to say, "We are RoboNation," okay? All right, 1,